late night live. It's been a while. But the biggest threat in America today is not across the ocean. It's already inside of our borders. And we're gonna talk a lot about this tonight. This is gonna be a late night live. China isn't planning to compete with the U.S. They're planning to erase us. And tonight I'm going to show you how. The biggest threat of your future isn't a politician, although some of them are on China's payroll. And we know that. But it's not even a political party, right? Even though a lot of those are involved in it. But it's the hostile communist regime that is desperate. And they've been planning this jump for decades, okay, to destroy U.S. from within and to replace us as the dominant superpower on the planet. This has been going on, and this has been their plan for a very long time. A lot of people will say that's malarkey, what have you. It is getting real, guys. It is literally getting real. And the fact is, they're not coming. This isn't going to be like a Red Dawn where they're parachuting from the sky, man. They're already freaking here. Spies in our army, leaks in our lab, sabotage at our borders. And tonight I'm going to be exposing the Chinese Communist Party's silent war against America. And it's about to enter a dangerous new phase, right? And if you don't learn this or listen to this, you're going to get blindsided. So let's get into it. Now, in 2016, there was a spy, Chinese agent, and I'm going to butcher his name, but this guy is Chequan G, and he enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserves. Okay. Now, he joined under a special citizenship fast track program called MAVNI, designed to recruit foreigners with critical language skills. And I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen the damn Navy recruiting station that everybody was speaking Chinese. That video went viral. Right? They do this. But before this guy set foot in the U.S., G was already working for Chinese Ministry of State Security, basically the CCP's version of the CIA. And like I've said over the past few weeks, all Chinese citizens have an obligation to work for the intelligence gathering mission of the CCP. So every Chinese citizen is essentially a spy. But this guy's mission was simple. He was to infiltrate the army, get U.S. citizenship, apply for high clearance jobs in the CIA, FBI, or NASA, NSA, and then steal everything that he could. G even offered to recruit other Chinese nationals inside the U.S. Army for espionage. Fortunately, the FBI caught him. But here's the kicker. He was sentenced to 8 years and released less than 2 years later in a spy exchange with China. That's right. A trained enemy agent back home with full knowledge of our systems. Right? If they caught one, how many slipped through? Now, I've got a lot more of those type of articles. Like you see this, U.S. Army soldiers accused of selling military secret virus to China. 3, including 2 active duty soldiers, 1 veteran arrested for selling military secrets to China. We can go on for days for this type of stuff, man. Lots of guys in the military. So how many have slipped through versus the magnitude we caught? How many Chinese agents are embedded in our military right now, or our intelligence agencies, or the FBI, DOJ, because of their critical language skills? And they're just waiting for the day that they're called into action. Okay, they're going to get a cell phone, like a fax machine going off, and then they're going to go do a mission like Manchurian Candidate or something. We don't know. But the fact of the matter is these guys are here. They're already infiltrated into our military. Not to mention the freaking southern border been open. Hundreds of thousands of military-aged males, Chinese citizens, coming across with buzz cuts, black backpacks, standing at parade arrests. I've showed tons of this video over the years. And how many of those guys, and they're so focused on MS-13 and Trinidad Arawa, however, I've not seen any Chinese citizens being rounded up yet. That's something we should be working on. Now, this obviously was not some rogue operation. It was part of a coordinated plan against at the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party. So these are people that are within our borders that are already doing this. I did the video about how one Chinese special operator came and trained with various guys, one of them being Tulan from Running Tactics, as well as some other veteran companies, and then he took that information back. Now, tonight, Epic Times actually at 9 p.m. Did a video. I'm going to show a clip of it, but there was a leaked 7,000 word directive. And again, this was on Epic. I think it's Epoch Times. I could be pronouncing wrong. I don't know. But it shows the CCP's real agenda. And to quote it, it says, it's time to end the dominance of the United States, not to compete with the U.S., but to end the dominance. What does that mean? End us. Let me play a clip from the show real quick.
Recently leaked directive details the Chinese Communist Party's strategy to respond to Trump's tariffs.
The purpose of this internal directive is tell the whole party system that it's time to end.
So CCP officials across every level of government were forced to read it, this document, inside secure rooms. No notes, no photos, no copies. And this is basically what it lays out, right? I'll get to that in a second.
And the dominance of the United States. In Chinese, they call it Weiji. Weiji is crisis and opportunity. So any crisis will be considered an opportunity.
So you hear that? They got the crisis, which is the trade thing going on with Trump. They're seeing it as an opportunity, right?
How is the CCP trying to leverage this moment? Will this be the end of China as the quote-unquote factory of the world?
Those businesses based on the export are all closing.
So a lot of Chinese citizens are going to be without jobs now. A lot of factories are being closed down. They're already struggling financially. So now they're hit with this. Like, it's kind of like when you back someone in a corner.
Now.
And what's behind the purges in the military? The apparent removal of two Xi Jinping.
So they've also removed top military leaders. But if you want to know what's like they're talking about within this report, they're talking about economic warfare. Okay, they have pharmaceuticals that we need and various other things that we need. Right, Boeing is basically shutting down right now because they can't get the parts they need for their planes. It also details cyber attacks, which we know that the FBI has admitted to, that China has our critical infrastructure pretty much on lockdown. It's just whenever they want to flip a switch. Intellectual property theft, they've already been doing that. The other thing is infiltration of universities, corporations, media, even media, okay, and the military. They've also talked about strategic alliances to isolate the U.S. on the world stage. It's a total war, essentially without firing a shot. Yet, think about it. They're attacking our economy with supply chain disruptions. They're attacking our culture with TikTok and propaganda. To me, TikTok is truly something we need to be very weary of, because it is a propaganda tool. It's a propaganda tool. It's owned by our enemies. Make no mistake, China is our enemy. Okay, they want to destroy us. Whether you want to be their enemy or not, you can also have Democrats as your enemies, right? But China wants to destroy you and I. Okay, and they're also attacking our youth with fentanyl manufactured in Chinese labs. So the war is truly already happening. That's what I want to get the point across, because a lot of people think because it's not Red Dawn, they're not seeing that, clickbait. Get your head out of the sand. The war is already happening. Most Americans are asleep, guys. Most of them are, and the warning signs are here. According to Bloomberg, there's already 5 warning signs that show China isn't just trying to collapse us. They're preparing for a real war with us. Okay. Their number one sign: military mobilization. China has been massively expanding their Navy, Air Force, and missile stockpiles. They're conducting large-scale drills, rehearsing for blockades, invasions, and missile strikes. Okay, they've even set up out in the middle of nowhere our aircraft carriers in practicing missile strikes on those. Okay, now because a lot of our war will be fought from aircraft carriers if we go into the Pacific. Right now, sign 2 is the economic decoupling. China is trying to sever ties with Western economies. They're building backup trade networks. They're preparing for global sanctions like Russia. Number 3 is political indoctrination. Xi Jinping has consolidated total control over the Chinese government, military, and is corporations. Loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party is now only loyalty that matters, okay? If you're not with Xi, you're purged, hence why they're probably flipping the military generals there, okay? And again, this is happening real time right now. And they're probably panicking. A lot to do with the trade war. China is obviously building alliances with Russia, Iran, North Korea, and expanding BRICS. And with that, they're trying to kill the US dollar and create an alternative global system. Now, if you look at the thing with Iran, you know, Israel's trying to get America into war with Iran right now, right? Well, Russia and Iran have just signed a 20-year strategic alliance, cementing defense, intelligence, energy, and trade cooperation. Okay, so Israel, America's greatest ally, U.S.'s liberty. But anyway, they're trying to get us to get in war with Iran. Russia and Iran are now together, obviously with BRICS. China and Russia's tight. China and Iran's tight. You throw in North Korea. Then you got U.S. essentially by itself, right? I'm sure, I mean, we got some NATO allies, whatever. But what has America been doing? They've been working with Ukraine, spending billions of dollars to fight in Russia. And so the proxy war between America and Russia has been happening. And, you know, I know that Zelensky and Trump had a talk about wanting to end the war. But I've also heard that now today, as of today, that Putin is also pushing back against stopping it. So it could be that now you got these guys that are saying, you know what, screw America being the power. Let's just go for it, right? You also have the civilian militarization. Chinese companies and citizens are now legally required to assist the military if called upon. Every Chinese business operating overseas. That could be a tool for espionage, sabotage, or actual war, combat. Okay. Did you hear me? These aren't random moves, guys. They're laying the groundwork for essentially a global conflict, whether we're ready for it or not. Now, if you recall, in the Joint Chiefs of Staff meeting, 2-3 years ago, they said that America was not capable of taking on multiple superpowers at the same time, talking about essentially China and Russia. So do you think just a few months in, we've got that turned around? Probably not. But let's stop pretending this is normal. This is reality. China doesn't want to compete with us. They want to dominate us. They want to destroy us, as well as a lot of other countries in the world. We've been the world police forever and been pissing everybody off. But they want to erase everything America stands for: freedom, sovereignty, faith, and family. They're totally against that there, okay? They see these values as threat. They don't like free thinkers. And they've spent decades studying how to dismantle them from within, right? Make no mistake, guys, while our leaders fight over freaking bathrooms and TikTok, China's preparing to put your children under their boot. Meanwhile, we're rounding up MS-13 and Trinidad Rawa, not saying we shouldn't, but we should also be maybe going after these Chinese operatives that are within our borders. But I want to remind you too, guys, is that the first battlefield is your mind. The second battlefield is your economy. And the third battlefield will be your streets, okay? So with that, obviously prepare accordingly. Now, if you're awake, guys, it's time to get your house in order. That means pay attention, keep your ear to the ground. Okay, keep your ear to the ground. What's going on? I know it's easy to get on TikTok and start flipping, man, but things are not cool right now. And they make a turnaround, but I heard that Xi Jinping said that they would not do any sort of negotiations. Now, the Trump admin said that that Xi Jinping called, but China denies that. They said that's a lie. And don't think propaganda doesn't work on both sides of the fence, guys. So train, prepare, build resilience, because when the real war comes, you won't get a second warning. Also, go watch my latest tradecraft video from Friday. I know it's boring to learn new skills. Why do you need them? Why Why you need new skills, man? Get on TikTok, start flipping. It's pointless to learn anything. But I plan on doing more tradecraft, fieldcraft videos. And I don't know if they're really trying to kill my channel and voices like mine right now. They really are. They're trying to shut us completely out. But go watch the tradecraft video from Friday, okay? Because you may need to disappear. You may need to. And I'll put more videos out there. Like if you watch them, I'm not going to waste my time. If you don't want to watch them, then I'm not going to make them. But it's free. I'm giving it to you for free. Watch it. It was like 3.5 minutes. I condensed it, but I'm going to do longer format videos of those too, tradecraft and fieldcraft videos. So that way we can get preparations in place. You know, a lot of people like to buy gear, and I do too. I love gear. That's why I make gear, right? But the thing is, it's like that mindset, that knowledge, right? You can't take that away from you. You can lose gear. You can break gear. But this right here, you won't ever lose it, okay? So go check it out. And guys, we're going to stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Make sure if you're new here, subscribe, share this message, and I'll see you in the next one. Black Scout.
2, 3. 1, 2.